My name is Ed Frey, and I'm running for Congress from the 19th District of California. That's along the Monterey Bay and San Luis Obispo coast. And the reason I'm running for office is to help not just restore democracy. We don't want to restore what we had before 2016, for example. We want to build on the republic that we have and improve it. Because if we return to normalcy pre-2016, we're going to be in gridlock again, political gridlock all the time. Nothing gets done, nothing of real substance gets done. So we're having a lot of troubles. People are predicting civil wars and this and that, and the system really cries out for dialogue and conversation and accountability. And so that's why I'm running for Congress, so that we change the processes by which politics happens. So when your Congress member, for example, has a meeting with a lobbyist from, say, Chevron or Lockheed or whoever, or some bank, you don't even know that they're having a meeting, let alone what they're promising each other. Now that's the kind of secrecy that we don't like, because that's really where the politics is happening. That's where new laws are being cooked up. And we, the public, don't even have any idea that they're even having this meeting. So that kind of secrecy leaves us uninformed. And we're supposed to be informed as citizens, because this is supposed to be a republic. A republic, the way Benjamin Franklin told that woman outside the Constitutional Convention when it was all over. She asked him as he was leaving, "What are you giving us, Mr. Franklin?" And he said, "A republic, if you can keep it." So if you look up republic in the dictionary, that's a system of government in which the people have all the power. The sovereign political power resides with the people. Well, how can we, the people, have any sovereign political power if we don't even know what's going on behind closed doors? The basic problem is that people in the two major political parties are both willing to take corporate money and in turn sacrifice the general welfare. Give a regulation that loosens up and allows more pollution and that sort of thing. That's happening all the time. So we have to stop that in its tracks. So I suggest we put cameras and microphones on all office holders, so that whenever they're talking about public business, we get to hear it. Also, whenever they're exchanging written messages about political matters, governmental matters, we get to hear it, we the public, so that we can help guide the government toward wiser policy and get rid of this gridlock that's been plaguing us for decades. We aren't getting anything really good done on the climate front, on the militarism front, on poverty, on police brutality, on a lot of issues that need to be addressed right away if we're going to survive and thrive as a democracy. So we have to build our democracy. We have to fix and keep our republic in good shape. So that means giving the people the knowledge. Also, the other basic question besides this, the basic problem besides the secrecy, is the impunity. That is to say, we don't have any way to hold our office holders accountable in public. Nobody, not even the best journalists, when they're interviewing a seasoned politician, not even the journalist can get a straight answer out of a politician. Because politicians in general in our country and almost everywhere are masters at deflecting the issue, avoiding the issue, diverting attention away from what's going on. So they give BS answers to just about any question. And there's no way to hold them accountable. I say if we have a half-hour conversation on television every month for every office holder, then we'll have something. Then we'll have real dialogue. Our system of government cries out for dialogue. We thirst after conversation. We need to talk about what's going on, because among all of us, not just those of us down our digital rabbit holes here and there and everywhere on the internet. We have to come together as a society and have conversation and dialogue so that we can all come to some consensus about how to fix problems like the healthcare system. The fact that millions of people are suffering for lack of health care. Hundreds of thousands are dying every year as a result of lack of health care. There's a way to provide health care. Other countries do it for everyone. It's real easy to do. The government takes care of the whole thing. We've got to talk about that, because it's obvious by now, after 2 years of pandemic, that health care is a government concern and must be dealt with in a humanitarian way by the government, instead of subjecting us to this manipulation by the insurance companies and the pharmaceutical companies. No more of that. We have to eliminate that. All right, that's just one issue. Militarism is another. So, again, back to the basic issue, the politicians' willingness to sacrifice the general welfare on the altar of corporate profits. So, we have to stop that in both parties, but I happen to be a registered Democrat, so I want to focus on my own party. For example, Leon Panetta in 1993 got another politician, his successor in Congress, to do some pretty awful things right in our neighborhood here, in the Pajaro Valley and then in the Salinas Valley. There was a worldwide treaty called the Montreal Protocol, entered into in the mid-'80s under Ronald Reagan's administration. It was a worldwide treaty. All 200 nations of the world signed it because it saved us from the attacks, the chemical attacks upon the ozone layer. The ozone layer, of course, protects us from the excessive radiation of the sun. If we didn't have the ozone layer, we wouldn't be able to survive. So Leon Panetta arranged to endanger and weaken the ozone layer by his servile attitude toward corporate profits. The big berry agribusiness companies came along to him. That's a big berry strawberries, the biggest industrial agribusiness product all along the coast here, Salinas Valley, Pajaro Valley, and so on. He gets money. He got money as a Democratic office holder from the strawberry. He sends it on to his party leaders, and those party leaders take that money and they manipulate the elections all over the country to select people who are willing to go along to get along, to sacrifice the general welfare in favor of corporate profits. And that's what keeps the party going. All that money comes in from all those corrupt corporations wanting to get special government favors out of the Congress, and it's real easy for them to do the way things are right now. That has to stop. And the way to stop it is to open it up. No lobbyist is going to be able to go into your Congress member and hold a meeting and say, here's what I want and here's how much I'm going to give you for your next election. That will be over once we make it all a matter of public record. And that's what it should be, a public record. If a lobbyist, if anybody is going to your representative, your elected representative, with an idea for a new law, everybody should hear about it so that they too can give their input to the Congress member if that's what's needed. Then the Congress member will be guided more by a wide variety of public input. And so we have do away with the secrecy and hold them accountable in public on television every day. Every 30 days, put the politician across the table from a citizen on television for a conversation, 30 minutes. And if the citizen gets picked by, after they put the name in the hat, the name gets drawn out, and they want to appoint a proxy spokesperson for him, like some pundit or journalist or scholar or your neighbor or your friend who you think is real smart, we can have real dialogue. I mean, people like Donald Trump could be chosen as proxies. People like Barack Obama. We could get some real dialogue going with old politicians. So what I'm saying is we have to have a way to challenge actions like Leon Panetta's action with methyl bromide. That's what he loosed methyl bromide on the fields of Watsonville and Pajaro Valley and Salinas Valley. And that's what we have to stop, because they took the money from the strawberry business and they sent it on to their party leaders to manipulate the elections all over the country. And the people suffered as a result, because methyl bromide is one of the most toxic substances on the face of the earth. But they got exempted from that treaty that banned methyl bromide, so they got to use it after all and poison the people. They poisoned the students and the farm workers' wives, and pregnant farm workers and farm workers' wives who lived close to the fields where the methyl bromide was being used had low birth weight babies. This means lifelong health problems for those babies. It caused cancer, it caused asthma, it caused skin irritation, lung irritation. All because they wanted the corporate profits to make a little more extra money with methyl bromide instead of the regular fertilizers and pesticides and so on. So that's the kind of corruption we need to stop. And that's why I'm running for Congress, so that we can open up the process, have open and accountable government. The voters have to demand before the elections, they have to demand that their candidates take a stand. Do you or do you not support open and accountable government? And they can be referred to this website, www.votersintervene.org. It's voters-intervene.org. And so that's why I'm running. And so I'm hoping that others will get interested in the campaign, not just for my getting elected to Congress, but for the wider effort all across the nation, for voters before the election day. Make your candidates take a stand. Do you or do you not support open and accountable government? And if they say no, if they say, well, what does that mean? You refer them to this website. If they say no, they're not going to support it, then vote for the other person. That's the only way we're going to have better government in this country. Not just restoring the normalcy here, but getting a real government that's really responsive to the people. So, Ed Frey for Congress. Thank you very much.